I love juries. I think they're a great... Okay, we'll fix the table.
One of the things that I think is very concerning, and it's fixable, is that if a judge gets attacked in the media, especially, I've seen a number of times where what they said is misconstrued, that there's no body in the legal system to protect judges, and judges can't actually make public comment. So
we can.
Well, but it doesn't happen enough.
Because they don't reach out to us. The media doesn't reach out. I comment often in the media, and I protect judges who do the right thing. But we don't get it enough because it's not popular.
Yeah, well, it's... I would not support a move to have judges speak more in the media on difficult cases.
No, I think there should be a department that's there for, they have decisions explained for somebody who types them up and explains to journalists what happened in court, right? You see, there's an area for that on the Supreme Court website. There should be something like that can actually correct misinformation on behalf of a judge to say this is the proper reading of the verdict and this is actually what happened.
Yeah, to prevent against misreading. But that's I
agree.
That's everything in our society, how we misread politics and policies from government and everything else. Yeah. But it really is pernicious in the criminal justice system because when judges read, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. When judges sometimes read criticisms of acquittals based upon misunderstanding of ideology or proof beyond a reasonable doubt or principles that are at the core of a democracy, guess what happens? They back off of it. Yeah. And they apologize for it. Yeah. And that shouldn't happen. Well, and I'm not blaming anybody. Yeah. I'm just saying this is not where we should be.
But in terms of lawyers can speak out about it, that happened out in BC where one particular judge... Out. Yeah, one particular judge, he got attacked and he had complaints sent in. A law professor from UBC had sent out a complaint and was speaking to the media. And he'd never read the decision. He'd never actually read the decision. And then the prosecutor spoke out immediately and said, that is not actually what happened in this case. The comments that were being disparaged were actually to do with the process and the complications that were particular to that case. And so the prosecutor and the defense lawyer both stood up for the judge in the media. The law professor was then provided a copy of the transcript, and he then went out and made a public apology for his comments. And,
well, that's a rarity.
Yeah.
Well, that is rare.
But that's what should happen when there's a misinterpretation. Apologize.
So what Zoom allows now is that law firms and lawyers in Canada can now represent anybody across the country.
That's true.
I can do a trial in Edmonton, in Montreal, in Vancouver. I can do it by Zoom. Yeah. And they can have the benefit of a really good lawyer. They don't have to go locally for somebody who's maybe okay or maybe great. But they can choose across country. Well, and I have to tell you, in cross-examining somebody on Zoom, I got their whole face on that screen, unlike when I'm in a courtroom. And the judge actually has to see that face. I found it to be very, very compelling and a very good aspect of the advancement of technology in trials. And I could wear sweatpants while doing the trial.
Well, I don't disagree on the sweatpants because I've seen you around the office all the time.
And the running shoes.
Though I'm quite disappointed, to be honest. But
no, it's good.
There are significant issues.
Give me more, Chris. Give me more.
All right.
Here you go. Talk more, my friend.
One is, for example, I was just doing a preliminary inquiry on a first-degree murder for all of January. Everybody can log in through Zoom.
Whiskey. It's great.
Everybody can log in through Zoom.
Yeah.
The judge reads off, look, anybody who's a potential witness, please log off. Okay. It's a crime for you to, record and so on and so forth. Right. I 100% believe that witnesses were listening in. Okay. Yeah. And there's no way to be able, it's a heck of a lot different when you're in person and you can see them. You can also, for example, you find out that somebody's actually in the room where the guy is testifying. There was an instance, an officer, is testifying. Normally he's allowed to refresh his, this is my case. He's allowed to refresh his memory by looking at his notes. And normally he has this notebook and it's been qualified and the office, the judge says, yeah, you're allowed to refresh it.
What does it mean qualified? Tell them.
All right. So what happens is...
Nobody knows what this means.
Oh, yeah, of course. So,
Talk human.
All right. So police officers, if they're they investigate thousands of matters before they end up going to trial, right? Maybe 2-3 years. So they're entitled, they have to prepare, they've got a little notebook and they have to prepare notes, and it's to refresh their memory because obviously your memory will blend between each and every case. So at the beginning of a trial, or when a guy goes to testify, an officer goes to testify, he's asked, the Crown asks him if he wishes to have his, refer to anything for the purposes of refreshing his memory. And there's a qualification process, okay, you created it when it was, recent in your mind, there were no additions or deletions, you need it, blah, blah, blah. So the judge says, you can look at your notes to refresh your memory. That's kosher, all right? Well, lo and behold, my little Jewish knowledge right there just for you.
I'm half Irish.
Well, that's why I said little.
Half Irish Catholic, that's why I can consume alcohol like this. I got 2 livers.
Anyway, all that to say, lo and behold, you can't help but notice that the officer is looking, to the left, on the screen. Only to find out, in cross-examination, started asking him a few more questions, and he's also looking at another report authored by another officer to refresh his memory, right? Well, it's only through cross-examination, noticing that, and because he wasn't making it subtle, that you can point that out. And that shouldn't happen. Now,
so what about if you're doing it by Zoom? You can't cache that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. In this case, it was by fluke because he wasn't very good at it.
He was an idiot.
He was an idiot. More than one.
In more than
one way.
I've been really impressed at how well the technology has worked, because historically, technology in a courtroom is deathly. It never works properly. They always have to stop and rewire something. Or there was one time where they there was a trial we were doing. Where
we won.
The speaker out in...
Which we won,
yeah.
Where acquittal. Not guilty.
The loudspeaker was actually picking up microphones or something. It was putting everything out through the speakers in the court system or something.
Yeah.
They're just deathly bad at technology in courtrooms. So I thought when they switched to pure technology for a trial that it would be a nightmare, that there would be a glitch of...
Right, but if we go down this road, how sophisticated can witness become to lie? Well, to be able to manipulate evidence, to get access to other resources to help them testify. I think that's the issue.
But there's there's that aspect, but there's another aspect, and this is because,
You tell me.
This aspect is one that you know very little about, mental health. Just joking, all right? Because you know a lot about it, right? And the issue is that it's incredibly alienating for anybody who has mental health issues.
Yeah, you're right.
To be, just seeing nothing but a screen and being on a screen. All right. And, because you do stuff on, a lot of mental health stuff, and you're very familiar with that. And there is a disproportionate number of our clients who do have mental health issues. And that's a serious issue for the criminal justice system. And it's, you run bail hearings or you do anything where it's nothing but a video screen and it's dehumanizing and it leads
It's alienating.
It's totally alienating. And those are the subtle things that, are lost, I think, when you just think, oh, look, the technology is so great, we'll look on the screen and blah, blah, blah. So I think there's a serious issue about that as well.
So we need a balance.
We totally need a balance.
Because some shit is good.
No, so
Did you have a good experience doing a Zoom prelim or trial? Tell me some good experiences. Let this public know what was good or fun.
Okay.
Give me something.
There are a couple things. One is obviously it's more efficient in terms of just traveling. All right. The reality is, schlepping all over, inefficient, cost money, so on and so forth. All right. There is a way to do this, so I'm starting another murder prelim next week.
Oh, thank God. You can bill for it, right?
Yes. Oh. And in that case, I raised the issue with a judge on a judicial pretrial and said, look, there are 4 of the dozen witnesses that are very important witnesses. And, regardless of the health issues, I have serious concerns with people listening in, people being intimidated, people reviewing things, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to, if they have serious health concerns, they don't want to be in a courtroom, that's fine. But I expect them to be brought to the courthouse, the Crown to find them a room that we can ensure is safe from any interference and
COVID
friendly, and we can ensure that the process, supports the testimony. Okay?
Right, you need something that projects formality.
That's it.
The solemnity of the situation.
Well,
I get that.
You know what's funny is I'm thinking about an earlier case I once had in the Scarborough courthouse in which, a lot of the witnesses came and they were just trying to dodge whatever, right? Didn't want to answer and stuff like that. And this was even before the Scarborough courthouse was painted. And when I first started, it was just a total disgusting shithole, right?
Shithole.
And the judge actually said this,
It's a total shithole.
It's
a total shithole.
In his judgment, when he said, you can't help but, people come, we're in a strip mall, all right? There is nothing grand. There's nothing that gives the impression to witnesses, to the public, to anybody
the formality
that this is a serious, bloody matter, right? And the government throws us into these, you've got like feces on the wall. Like, this is ridiculous, so it's not surprising. And I think the same with Zoom, okay? I actually, today, I had to yell at a surety who's
on a bail hearing.
On a bail hearing.
I heard it. It happened.
Yeah, you heard it.
It's hard not to hear it.
The office.
I had to yell at him, and the JP was in the room. I had to yell at him. Can you cannot smoke. You are in court. You are in court right now. Please put your cigarette down, sir. All right?
Are you coughing, honey?
I did not think that I had to explain, but no. I have to look. I know you're on Zoom. I know you're at home. I know you're wearing pajamas. But you are technically in court, sir. All right? So stop smoking. Okay? Which he promptly did.
You lost a connection with him at one point too, right?
Yeah, well, that's...
I heard that. I heard that part as well.
Had some serious issues regarding...
Where are we going? Let's be honest. Stop.
Oh, here.
Where the fuck are we going?
One last thing about...
And then I want to talk about some other shit.
One last thing about Zoom, all right? Here's the other issue, is we kept having disconnection issues because you've got a witness who, does not have fantastic internet, all right? Yeah. Because they're not using state-run internet or anything of that nature.
State.
They're just,
There's no state-run internet.
No, but they're not at the Crown's office.
You mean Rogers?
It's the socialist in him that's coming out again.
That's exactly it, right? It's a capitalist internet that's terrible. No. Anyway, so it kept dropping. The guy is it's a fucking murder case, and the guy's testifying on an iPhone, right? And then it keeps, and then it falls apart, and then we have to pause for 15 minutes while we reestablish connection and so on and so forth. I got the transcripts, and about 14 different places it says inaudible. All right.
Wow.
So inaudible. So, it's just because you're dependent upon court reporters being able to actually have the recordings that are proper and so on and so forth. There are issues. There's certain things I'm all for. It's fantastic. Okay. Like I say, non-contentious issues. It's great. I have serious reservations about having a trial in
Because
which
the end of the day,
a person
we
can
got to
go to
protect our
jail.
clients.
Okay, their liberty, their reputation, everything is
Their
destroyed.
fucking life is at
Their
stake.
life is destroyed, and it matters.